Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Spaghetti Theorist 92. Thanks for the suggestion, Spaghetti Theorist. You asked, who decided the alphabet order? It's something we've all used since we were toddlers. But let's be honest, why does A come before B? Why is L next to M like they're alphabet roommates? And seriously, who gave Q a seat at the table? Today, we're digging into the ancient origins of our ABCs, from chanting Phoenicians to remix happy Romans, and figuring out how the alphabet got its totally arbitrary VIP lineup. So, if you've ever alphabetized your spice rack or lost a game of alphabetical trivia and thought, wait, who made these rules anyway? Stick around. We're cracking open the alphabetical mystery right here on Explaining Everything. So let's get something straight. The alphabet did not just drop from the sky like a software update. It wasn't designed by some ancient Steve Jobs of letters. The truth? The alphabet evolved, slowly, like a group project that somehow turned out okay. The earliest version of our modern alphabet came from the Phoenicians around 1000 BCE. These guys were like, hey, instead of drawing cows and eyeballs every time we want to write, let's just invent symbols for sounds. Genius. They came up with 22 letters, only consonants, no vowels. Imagine trying to write your name without vowels. Mine becomes just chaos. Anyway, they also had a specific order: Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. And spoiler, Aleph became A, Bet became B. Sound familiar? Yeah, they basically set the stage. Enter the Greeks. They took one look at the Phoenician system and said, cool idea, but where are the vowels? This isn't a guessing game. So they added A, E, I, O, U, finally giving words room to breathe. They also kept the order mostly the same. Why? Because even 2,800 years ago, people hated learning new systems. So now Aleph and Bet were Alpha and Beta, and boom! That's where we get the word alphabet. Fun fact, the Greek word for rebrand was probably just keep it. Then came the Romans, the remix kings of history. They took the Greek alphabet, tossed a few letters, invented a couple more, like J, U, and W, and boom, Latin alphabet. This is the one that eventually became the alphabet you're using right now to read your ex's text messages way too carefully. Did they change the order? Nope, because at this point, the alphabet order was tradition. Changing it would be like putting zebra in the insect section of a zoo. You could do it, but society might collapse. All right, let's ask the big question. Why this order? Like, was it random? Was it based on frequency of use? Were the letters lining up in height order like middle school gym class? Well, here's the answer. We don't know for sure. There's no ancient scroll titled, Why A comes before B, according to Chad the scribe. But experts think it was partly phonetic, partly practical, and a lot ritualistic. Some think early scribes created chants or songs to memorize the letters, like the world's first alphabet jingle. And once that rhythm stuck, people said, let's never change this, ever, under any circumstance, even if it makes 0 sense. Which is the same logic that gave us daylight saving time and the QWERTY keyboard. So why don't we just change the alphabet order? Well, because the entire world would fall apart faster than a group chat during a brunch debate. Think about it. Dictionaries, gone. Phone contacts, chaos. Library systems, straight up anarchy. The moment you decide to put Z somewhere up near B, you're rewriting every filing system known to humanity. Your friend Zach is not emotionally prepared to be listed before Barbara. That's not his identity. And let's not forget, we'd have to change the alphabet song. Do you want to be the person who breaks the song that toddlers have been screaming in minivans since 1835? Didn't think so. We don't change it because we're too deep in. It's tradition. It works, mostly. And honestly, no one wants to alphabetize all over again. The order is arbitrary, yes, but it's our arbitrary. All right, back to the big question. Who actually decided the order of the alphabet? Drum roll, please. No one. There was no ancient alphabet council, no divine stone tablets that said B must follow A or civilization will crumble. The order just kind of evolved. The Phoenicians started it, the Greeks added vowels and cleaned it up. The Romans gave it a Latin polish. Then everyone else just sort of nodded and said, yeah, sure, this works. For the next 2,000 years, it's basically the longest game of historical copy-paste in human history. There was no master plan, no letter draft where Q was picked last, although it probably was. It was more like a group project where no one questioned the formatting. And now, it's permanently engraved into every school wall, keyboard, and cereal box. Honestly, it's a miracle we all agreed on anything, let alone this. If you enjoyed this video, or had your mind blown by the fact that no one officially decided the alphabet order, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about here on Explaining Everything.